All right, diving in today to All the Beauty in the World by Patrick Bringley.
Oh, interesting choice.
Yeah, it's his memoir about being a guard at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And I got to say, I thought it was going to be,
Like what, just him standing around?
kind of, yeah, like a little boring, honestly.
I get that.
It was anything but.
It's way more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bringley had like a really interesting path to even getting that job. I mean, he wasn't some, typical security guard, right?
Yeah, that's what got me. Like, he was at the New Yorker, like the magazine.
Exactly, yeah. Big time, right?
Super prestigious, like the dream job. And then he ends up at the Met. Like,
Total left turn.
total left turn, yeah.
Yeah.
And the book, it like really dives into why.
Yeah, there's some real personal stuff that happens that kind of forces him to look for something, I don't know.
Meaningful.
Yeah, like
A little more meaningful.
Yeah, more than just the, daily grind.
A hustle.
Totally. So he ends up at the Met, surrounded by all this incredible art. But what I really liked was he doesn't just talk about the art,
It's like he's looking at the people looking at the art. Right?
Exactly. And that's where it gets fun.
And like so accurate too. His descriptions of the different museum goers. Like,
Oh, yeah, like you can totally picture them.
totally. Like, I know a sightseer for sure.
Yeah.
Just snapping pictures, not even really looking.
Oh, yeah, they just want to say they were there, post it on Instagram.
That's it. But Bringley makes you think about like why people even go to museums in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
What are they hoping to get out of it?
Yeah, he goes deeper than just being funny, It makes you think about your own experiences. Like,
Oh, for sure.
are you really seeing the art or are you just going through the motions?
I felt that
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
And Bringley's like the perfect guide for that kind of thinking because he's so observant.
Yeah, he really is.
Like, he talks about this Nkizi figure. I'd never even heard of that before.
Thank Kisi.
Yeah, it's from the Congo culture. But the way he writes about it, it's like you can feel this power.
It's interesting, right? Because he brings in all this history and context. Like, Ankizi are these figures that are supposed to hold spirits, and like you can activate them through rituals. And he captures that whole belief system where the spiritual and material worlds were just like all mixed up.
Makes you realize like how much I don't know when I'm looking at art.
Yeah, it's like layers and layers.
There's so much meaning behind it all,
Yeah.
And Bringley he helps you unpack it.
He really does. And then he ties it all back to his own thoughts, too. Like, there's this part where he's talking about Egyptian statues
Oh, yeah.
and how, to the Egyptians, they were more real than dead bodies because they were eternal,
It's so deep, right? And you realize he's not just talking about ancient Egypt. He's thinking about his own grief, his own search for meaning.
Exactly. He brings it all together.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so powerful. Like, he's not afraid to get personal, to share his feelings alongside all this art stuff.
Makes you want to know more about him, too. Like what happened at the New Yorker? Why'd he leave?
Right. Like, what was it about the Met that drew him in?
Yeah, and the book answers those questions, but
I don't want to spoil it.
we'll leave that for the readers.
It's worth the wait, trust me.
Yeah.
Like, his writing is so good, you'll feel like you're right there with him, wandering around the Met.
Yeah, if you've ever felt that pull toward museums, that sense of wonder, you got to check this out. Even if you're not a museum person, Bringley's story will resonate with you if you've ever, looked for meaning in unexpected places, I think.
Absolutely. It's about more than just art. It's about life.
It really is.
Yeah.
I'm glad we picked this one.
Me too.
All right, so we'll be back
Next time.
to keep going with this.
With Bringley's journey.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It is.
Retune.
All right. It's wild how Bringley finds this, like, rhythm, in a place that seems so still.
Totally. Because museums are all about the past, right? So it's like, how do you find that sense of movement?
Well, it's not just the art, right? It's the routines, the guards, the people coming and going.
Yeah, like he talks about those mornings before the museum even opens,
Oh, yeah.
like a stillness, but it's not dead,
Yeah.
He's prepping, getting things ready.
It's like setting the stage, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
And then as the day goes on, it's like he finds a flow in all those little things, like checking for hazards, making sure people aren't touching stuff.
The everyday stuff.
But he's always watching, always thinking, finding those moments that make each day different.
And even the security procedures, right? Like that Code 100.
Oh, yeah, the emergency code.
But the way he writes about it, it's like this big dramatic event.
Like shaking things up.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's what he does so well, right?
Yeah.
Taking the ordinary and making it, I don't know.
Extraordinary.
Yeah. And it's not always the obvious stuff either.
Yeah.
Like, he's fascinated by this exhibit, the unfinished exhibit at the Met Brewer.
Oh, I love that part.
It's all these pieces that were never completed,
And he's drawn to that. like what they represent, the possibilities.
Yeah, like beauty isn't just about perfection, you know?
It's the journey, the potential.
And he connects that to his own life, becoming a father. Like, that's the ultimate unfinished thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's always changing, growing.
Makes you think about all the stuff in our own lives,
Yeah.
The projects we put off, the dreams we haven't gone after.
Bringley's saying it's okay to embrace that. The messy parts, the unfinished parts.
And then the way he talks about Michelangelo and the Giesben quilt makers, I was like, wait, what?
It seems so random, right?
Quite works.
It totally does. Michelangelo, this huge Renaissance figure, giant sculptures, paintings.
And then these women in Alabama making these intricate quilts.
But Bringley finds these links between them. Like, they're both so dedicated to their craft.
Pushing boundaries.
And it makes you rethink what art even means, you know? Like, the Giesben quilts, they're from this specific place, but they're beautiful in a way that everyone can understand.
Art can come from anywhere, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Bringley doesn't shy away from the tough parts of the job either. Like the long hours, the routines, sometimes dealing with,
Difficult people.
Yeah. But even then, he finds a way to connect, whether it's with another guard or a lost tourist or...
What about that guy who tried to return that Hermes head?
Oh my God, with the heart carved above the eye.
Like, what was he thinking?
So funny. But it's those moments that make the book so real. You see the humor, the human side of this grand museum.
Makes you wonder what other stories are hidden there, What else is waiting to be discovered?
Towards the end, you can tell, like, Bringley's thinking about his time at the Met,
Like it's coming to an end.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
not just the job, right? It's like he's changed, become a different person because of it.
I like that part where he's training the new guy.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he's passing on what he's learned,
Yeah, there's this sense of community, right? With the guards, like, they're all in it together.
It's a family.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you can tell, even though Bringley's leaving, the Met's gonna stay with him,
Like the way he sees things.
The way he pays attention.
Yeah, that's all stuff he got from being there. And his last walk through the museum, it's like almost sad.
Bittersweet,
Yeah, you can really feel the emotion.
Like he's saying goodbye.
But it's not a bad ending, He's not like giving up.
Yeah, he's finding his way.
Yeah, and he's got this advice for his kids, He tells them to like get lost in the vastness of it all.
To just let go and see the beauty. Right.
And I think that's what this book is about, It's not just about a museum, it's about looking at the world differently.
Finding the wonder in everyday stuff.
Yeah, and how art can change us,
If you're looking for a book that'll make you think, make you feel, you gotta read this one.
All the beauty in the world. It's a good one, yeah.
It really is.
So thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.